guys and girls, my webhosts and shareholders, it's me, I don't know what it's me. And today on the dumbasses of the internet, we have Lil Uzi. Yep, I'm saying that right. He really put a $24 million rock in his head, and credit to still betting on Twitter for the post, but as we can see here, he actually had a diamond implanted in the middle of his forehead, and he later came out saying that if he popped it out the wrong way, or if he got it surgically removed wrong, he'd die. And of course, with just shitty meme things like this, we have the funnies. Like Lil Uzi when he pop out with that diamond in his head, and of course me and the homies when we go to the Lil Uzi meet and greet. And overall, I really think this is dumb, and of course, in one mishap his life could be taken away, all because of this dumb rock in his head. Like if you wonder why, it's because the brain is very fragile, and never in your lifetime or in eternity should you ever like put a fucking sharp rock next to it, but I mean, let's say you lose a cell in your brain. For the most part, you're never getting that shit back. Like maybe in the near future, distant future, but in the present, you're never getting that shit back, And like, I don't like the arguments that say people survived with half a brain or not even a brain. Like, the boy Trevor who defied odds and survived for 12 years with only a brain stem. And while yes, he did survive, he didn't have cognitive function at all, and he didn't have a conscious or could think. All the brain stem could do was let him breathe and, maintain a heartbeat. And many people wouldn't consider that living. And another example of things like these are people who have half a cerebral cortex, or people who are born without a cerebellum. These are all different cases, but all of them stem from either birth defects or neurological damage to the brain. By neurological, I mean physical, my bad. If you wonder why they didn't die, it's due to the way the brain works, when the brain, it spreads out the workload, like, throughout the whole part, so, like, if a small part got, cut off, or even half, there's a chance that it would be able to survive, and, in the case of the cerebellum missing, it's actually so much different. You see, people have this condition where they're born without a cerebellum. The reason why is because the cerebellum isn't necessary to survival. It might be an advantage, but it isn't necessary. All it does is controls locomotion, the way we balance things, like how we move, basically. I'm not saying you can't move, I'm just saying it, gives it an advantage on how you move. And, like, it really is stupid when people, like, say these arguments, because, yeah, sure, while this happens, you shouldn't, be doing dumb shit just because of it, You should want a whole brain, You don't want to be any dummy, If you didn't know, putting a rock in your head is wrong. Like, I'm pretty sure that's common sense to everyone. And, like, there's people getting stabbed in the brain, right? And they survive. But that's very slim, the chances are literally near impossible. And it really depends on where the wound is located. And, imagine if he trips really hard, dude. Or he gets hit by a rock or something falling. Very hard. It fucking goes right into his brain. Or if not his brain, it's gonna, like, cut something really hard and he could bleed out due to the, losing oxygen to the brain, and shit like that. And the blood, blood spill. As well as the brain jelly. And, this really increases the probability of him dying by a very noticeable amount. If you guys didn't know, like I said before, it's very fragile, and once it stops working, it's never coming back. By that, I mean the brain, I said it again. Most dead cells in the brain are never coming back, and it's crazy. And with that being said, let's hope he can get it removed soon and successfully, because if he doesn't and he dies, well, let's hype up the funeral. Just kidding, if he dies, then may he rest in peace, But still, this is very dumb. And that being said, good night, gamers.